Hi, my name is Zoe. I am the Tipsy Psychic, and today I am going to do the human design tag. Bum, bum, bum. So last year I talked a little bit about human design, and I talked about human design types, and I also talked about human design authorities. So if you haven't checked out those videos, please go do that. Go check them out. Figure out what your human design type is. Get your human design chart. I will definitely post a link to do that below. It's free. And then come back and watch this video because it is going to be awesome. And basically, I'm going to answer a bunch of questions on human design. The first question is, what is your aura type? What is your type? And mine is Manifestor. Number 2, what is your authority? I have a Splenic authority, and my profile, which I haven't mentioned before, is a 6-2 profile. Question number 4 is, what do you love the most about your type? I love being a manifestor. It is brilliant. Like, I feel like I'm on top of the world one minute, and I just feel like I can make such a huge impact on the people around me. And it also really helped me embrace my individuality because I was so busy trying to fit in with the generators without even realizing, like, I wasn't even trying to fit in, but I was kind of living their lifestyle. And this has really helped me understand my energy and why I am such a, why I carry so much of it at times and why I don't at other times. And why I'm not good at finishing things, but I'm really good at creating and initiating and starting. And so it really allowed me to put my focus on that, and I love that. I also feel like it plays into my psychic abilities because I am always one step ahead of everyone else. Like, that's how I feel. I feel like I'm waiting on other people to catch up when I already understand a situation. And my mind's just going really fast, and like, I figure it out right away, and my intuition just comes, and that also has to do with my authority, which I'll talk about. I am incapable of fitting in. I'm incapable of fitting the mold. I really do agree with the fact that I'm here to make an impact. I am here to impact others around me, to impact the world around me, and to use this powerful energy to do that. So I'm really, really excited. I love being a manifestor. I also kind of take pride that there aren't that many of us out there and that I happen to be one, and I feel really grateful that I get to be that person. I'm naturally a change maker, and I'm not afraid of change. I hate consistency so much. Number 5, what do you struggle with the most with your type? It's rare to be a manifestor, and we live in a world populated by generators and manifesting generators and projectors, and so there are only like 8% or something manifestors. Maybe that number has changed a little, but so growing up I felt like I had to conform a lot to what other people expected of me. And I was never able to have a 9-to-5 job. I was never able to, I had to work for myself, I was never able to have friendships that were ongoing where I could talk to someone every day. I just cannot, I'm not capable of being that. And so people were asking me to give more of my energy than I could. So I'd constantly commit myself to people, to things. I would say, oh, every Friday I'll do this. And I realized that was such a generator mindset, to create habits that way, or to take up a hobby and do it in such a consistent way. That was something that we're taught to do. We're taught to honor our commitments, and we're taught to put our energy and work really hard to make things happen. And we're taught to finish what we start. And all of that was so bad for me. I could not do that. And a lot of manifestors, their not self theme is anger. And I felt so much frustration and anger because I felt like people were in my way. I felt like I was constantly one step ahead, and I was kind of waiting for people to catch up. I was constantly waiting. I had all these projects, but I was told, you need to have this person help you, or you can only do that with this degree, or you can only do that once you do this and that and this, and once you are on a team, or once you get this job, and that drove me crazy because that is so generator-like. You know, there's nothing wrong with being a generator. In fact, it's beautiful. There is a support system among generators that they need, but that they thrive on, you know, because there's masses of them, you know, so they're like the batteries of the world, and they have to take care of themselves to be those batteries and to keep the energy going and keep things going and get things done. And it's beautiful. And their commitments are super important, like where they put that energy, because they have so much of it. Me, I don't have all that energy to give away. You know, I don't have so much energy. I have to take rests. Many manifestors take naps because our energy comes in bursts. And so I always felt like it was very frustrating. I would constantly burn out. Even creating this YouTube channel was really challenging because when I first started, I didn't know about my human design, and I did like every single day I was posting a video, and it was a nightmare. That's why I've gone to 1 time a week. And when I am not capable of filming, I don't, because I have to save that energy, because it comes in bursts, and so I can do more at one time. You know what I mean? So learning those things was really helpful. Learning to just stop and not do anything and recharge was super important. And so it wasn't about where I should put all that energy. It was about honoring that energy and getting any of those things that are draining it or taking it away out of the way, so that when it does come, it can make such a huge impact on the world. It's also really helped my mental health to do that, and it's also helped me understand my friendships, understand that I can't push myself to text someone if I genuinely just don't want to. I'm not gonna do it just because that's what society expects me to do. They expect me to text them back, but I can still have meaningful friendships with people. Also, you know, as a kid, I was really out of control. Like, I feel bad for my parents because I was such a wild card. I've never been predictable, and that can also interfere in my family relationships and my relationship in general. I can't be consistent, and I can't follow the rules. And I don't like to ask permission. I don't like to follow the rules. I do things my way. Question number 6. What do you love the most about your authority? So remember, I talked about authorities in that other video. I have a splenic authority, and I love my splenic authority. It makes so much sense for me because I am such an impulsive person. And when you're listening to your spleen, you're listening to it in the now, right away. And so anytime I really make a spontaneous decision, something that I don't really think too hard about, it ends up being an excellent decision. And if I'm afraid of something, or I feel like some kind of fear, because the spleen is really, it's really also about fear. It's about survival, right? So when I'm in a sketchy situation, my spleen tells me, nope, you gotta get the hell out of here, Zoe, because this is not your cup of tea, trust me. So when I listen to my spleen, it gets me out of so much shit. Like, I don't know how, how much I have avoided thanks to listening to my spleen. And I think it's something I've done naturally most of my life. The worst times are when I am indecisive and when I am letting my mind take over. Because your authority is how you choose. It's how you attack things in life. You know, that's such a manifestor way of looking at it. Being splenic is awesome because as a manifestor, it just allows you to like go for what you want, initiate on the spot. You don't even have to process it emotionally, and that is what's awesome about being a splenic manifestor. Whereas, for example, my boyfriend is a splenic projector, and it's good that we're both splenic because I feel like that really helps a lot with just how we go about things. I'll talk about him more. A projector has to wait, you know, to be invited. They have to wait for recognition and then act on their spleen. So it's a little more tricky. Number 7, what do you struggle with the most when it comes to your authority? The splenic authority is very quiet in a way. Like, it's something you have to really learn to read, I think, because it's not just like an emotional thing or a gut instinct. It's like your intuition, and it's very in the moment. And so if you miss it, then you miss it, and there's nothing you can do. I don't know how many times I've been told to sleep on it, or figure out how you feel in the morning, or this is a really big decision, you have to think about it for hours and hours and hours, or wait till this person helps you. That is not listening to my spleen. And that is what we think is correct in society. So some of my best purchases have been just spontaneous things. Things that I was like, I need this, I'm gonna buy it right now. Instead of browsing and trying to find the right thing all the time, like, I just end up driving myself crazy and making the worst decisions when I try to think this through. I don't have to make a pros and cons list. I don't have to like talk it out. I don't have to think about how I feel or where my heart is at. I need to just do it. And that is kind of tough when you're so used to having to use common sense or be practical about your decision making. Yeah, that doesn't seem to work. So spontaneity can seem immature in society. People can say, wow, did you really just buy that? That's impulsive. That's really irresponsible. I have to get past that dialogue and that narrative. That is what stops me from trusting my instincts, from trusting my intuition, and from trusting that survival mechanism. Number 8, how does your profile reflect on your everyday life? So I'm a 6'2" profile, and I feel like this is definitely me. I definitely find myself taking more charge in my life. I feel like the 6 is more role model. So while I might not be the best role model, I think I am a natural leader. Like, I naturally take charge, and I naturally sort of pave the way. And I always am told that I'm wiser than I look, or like wiser than beyond my years or something. A lot of people tell me that, people who are way older than me. And I think I naturally have a tendency to take on things because I'm like, am I the only one who can do it? I have big dreams and I expect a lot, and yeah, I mean, I can be pretty easygoing, but at the same time, like, I see things, it's like I'm looking from above and I can just see things and I want to take care of them. And I know where the pieces go, and I'm like, I guess I'm the one who's gonna do it, you know? Like, I can see the big picture and the steps at the same time. And that is such a powerful part of my life and my productivity, so I love that. I'm also always trying to learn. I'm trying to gain knowledge. I'm just like on this journey of knowledge. Like, I'm always trying to absorb information. And I feel like that's a big part of who I am, especially when it comes to like languages or even things that no one really cares or I would never apply, you know, like learning Elvish, right? Or different conlangs, or learning to play an instrument, or learning to tie a cherry stem with my tongue, you know? My point is, I'm always trying to learn and gain new hobbies and traits and skills, even if like they'll never come in handy, just because I love educating myself and yeah, gaining knowledge. And the second line, you know, 6'2", so the second line is the hermit line. And it's interesting, it's an interesting combination. I really can appear to be more aloof sometimes, I think. People don't really know what I'm about, but at the same time, they love to make assumptions. When I do commit to something, I've talked about this before, when I do commit to something, it has to be really, really worth it. Otherwise, I'm miserable. It can also mean that I'm not as reliable at times. Like, if I feel like my energy is being compromised, I'll withdraw. I'm pretty good at not finishing something. Like, I'm pretty good at just setting that boundary and being like, all right, I reached my limit. Like, when I was growing up, my dad used to bring me to the movie theater, and when I was done, I was done. I literally just walked out of the movie when I had enough of it. I would just like walk out. Or when we were out to eat or something, I just had to leave. Like, I was done. And that's just how I am in life. Like, if I reach a certain point, all right, that's it. I know, like, I sense it, I'm done. And even so, like, if I commit to going to your birthday party, if I'm not feeling it, I'm not feeling it. And I'm pretty genuine about it. I'm not gonna compromise my well-being or my energy if I'm really not in it for your birthday party. And that sucks to some people, like, they can't handle that, but you know what? I gotta look out for me, and I'll still make you a card, you know? When I take on too much at once, then I tend to feel really overwhelmed. I get overwhelmed so fast. So I like to do one thing at a time. And I know right now I sound kind of like a type A personality, but I'm really not, because I'm really like sloppy. Like, I don't really care about the outcome of things. It's more about doing them. So like, I don't really care about the way things look or the way things turn out as much. It sounds weird to say, but I'm like one of those people that it's about making the drawing. If it looks like shit, then fine. You know what I mean? It's more about like doing. I don't really pay attention to detail or get all meticulous, and I can take something really seriously, but at the same time, I like to just have fun. And if it's not fun, then I'm not gonna do it. I just don't do things that I don't feel like doing. I also I need to be alone. You know, that is a big part of my life. I spend so much time by myself. That's the 2 line, you know, I am a hermit. And so I can have all these things going on, but at the same time, I don't like to be really out there extroverted all the time. 18, 30, and 50, around those ages are when there are going to be some major turning points. And so right now, I'm still sort of in that first turning point. I haven't turned 30 yet. And so I'm in this place where I fill my life up with a lot of different things, and I basically am going through all these ups and downs, all the roller coaster rides that come with that time. And then when I'm 30, I believe, maybe a little earlier than that, I'm going to be going on the roof. That's what they call it, where I kind of look at life around me instead of being physically involved in all of it. I am more of the guide. I take my knowledge and I use it and kind of sit back and let things unravel. And so I've heard a lot about these next phases in my life, but I'm not there yet, and I am really looking forward to them because it's supposed to be pretty rough right now. And so I am hoping that it gets easier because that's what it's supposed to happen. Number 9. What are some tips for someone with your human design type or chart? Remember that you don't have to ask permission. You just should go for what you want to go for. And there is that thing about informing, and I feel like that is really confusing sometimes when you are just learning about human design. It's like, what does that mean to inform? And basically it just means telling the people around you what you are doing or that you're going somewhere so that they're not freaking out and being like, wait, where did that person go? You know? Because I hate telling people what I'm doing. I hate keeping people up to date. It just seems like so much work, you know? And I just feel like I was really confused by that when I first learned about human design. So I would say just do your thing, and also just try to rest, try to manage your energy. And I also feel like trusting my spleen, which is my authority, has really helped. Follow your strategy. I feel like whenever you look up human design and you're like, what do I do? It says, follow your strategy. And I feel like that is so true. Follow the fact that you're a manifestor and follow your strategy. Learn what parts of your life are defined and undefined. On your chart, you can look at your centers. And I feel like that was really helpful because it helps me know where my inspiration comes from. and because I have a undefined, you know, crown. Why I feel so grounded with my partner, right? My boyfriend's root center is filled in and mine isn't. And so when I'm around him, I feel like so much more grounded and less all over the place. And also I would encourage anyone who is a manifestor to look for Facebook groups if they are alone in this and they feel like they need to understand themselves more and they want to meet other manifestors. There's some awesome Facebook groups. I'll post the links so you guys can check them out. But you can just look up manifestors on Facebook and yeah, and join. It's awesome. One thing I also forgot to mention is being a manifestor is a little more tricky when you're a woman. And that is because we live in a world, okay, that is very masculine. You know, women still are expected to be more submissive, they're expected to wait, and so having a woman who is going to go out and be the one to make the first move can be intimidating, especially when you're dating. I've heard a lot of manifestor women have a hard time because they're these powerful go-getters and they have a repelling aura and it can be sort of intimidating. And so it's very untraditional, you know, it's unconventional. And especially in my relationship, I feel like I definitely initiate a lot. Sometimes people have trouble with that idea, but I like it. You know, I don't mind it. I remember being in school at like going to school dances and stuff, and I was always the one to ask the guy or the girl out and by. So I was always the one to ask them out and to take that first step. And I didn't give a shit. I wasn't gonna wait for someone to ask me out. And if no one wanted to go out with me, then I just like threw my own party. Number 10, when did you discover human design? I actually found out about human design through a generator. She's another YouTuber and her name is Sarah Armade. And I love her so much. I'm part of her program. She doesn't specifically talk about human design. She's more about like health and stuff for women. Number 11, what are your loved ones' human design? Okay, so I'm gonna start with my partner. My partner, Dustin, is a projector. He is a splenic projector. My brother is my twin, so he is also a manifestor. He's a splenic manifestor, 6'2", just like me, of course. We're very different people, but that's because we're both manifestors. We both have a very powerful like aura and we really repel each other. And so I have sort of a newfound respect for him. And when you're around him, like you can feel his aura, it's intense, you know, it's a lot. And then my sister is a generator. She has a sacral authority. We are very different people, and I definitely think that our human design plays a part in that. She's also extremely caring and putting herself in other people's shoes all the time and devoting herself. She really puts herself out there for people that she cares about. And she doesn't really understand my desire to not have these deep friendships that she does. That's something we've actually talked about a lot. And she's very big on self-discovery and she works crazy hours to get work done for clients. I think a lot of generators will try to give you advice based on what works for them, but they don't really understand that it doesn't work for everybody else. It doesn't work for other people. So a lot of her advice is really nice and it would probably work for people who were also generators, but it definitely doesn't work for another manifestor most of the time. So my mom is actually a manifestor too, and I didn't even know this. I apparently had typed her chart in wrong for a year, and I thought she was a manifesting generator, but it turns out she's also a manifestor. When you're a manifestor, you sort of do have this bird's eye view sometimes of the people around you in life, and I think she knows what she sees and I see what I see, and we're both very different people. You know, she supports my career as a psychic even if she does not understand it, and she's been very peculiar about her ways. So, you know, I grew up and it was always her way or no way, you know, so she really made the household her own. And I feel like that's kind of how I am, you know, my way or the highway. Like the people around me better get in line, you know? So my dad is a projector. He's an ego projector. And my dad was still, he's much more laid back. And I think that comes with being a projector, is just needing to wait and hang on. And I feel like he embraced that lifestyle. And then when things came to him, and if he wanted them, he went for them. Like he was like that person that I would be riding in the car with on my way home from school, and he'd pick me up, and he wanted to go do different things and go places. It didn't matter if I was sitting in the car with him, he'd just go do them. And I'd be like, Dad, I really want to go home. I have to go home and do my homework, or I have to go home and relax. Like I had a big day at school. And yeah, I hated it because he just would like keep driving and going different places. And I'd be like, okay, I guess I'm along for the ride. And I feel like that's how ego projectors are a lot of the time, or ego authorities, because you're just kind of, you have to go along with it. You have to. It's their desire. If they don't like if they can't be people pleasers, they can't like sacrifice their needs. They can't do that. They can't sacrifice their desires for anyone, or they're not following their authority. So for those of you who don't know, I was donor conceived, and my donor's name is Tammy, and she is a generator, a emotional generator. So she does have to ride those waves of emotions too to come up with her awesomeness. And I'm still learning about her and getting to know her more, but I can definitely tell that she has that buzzing, warm, grounding energy about her. It's also that she has a filled in, defined root. So I feel a lot more grounded around her. Number 12. Describe how your human design interacts with others. I feel like I've said a lot already about this, but you know, in my relationship, I am definitely the go-getter. I think my boyfriend is too, but I'm definitely the one who like comes up with the crazy date ideas, you know, and makes a lot of the plans and tries to get things going more. And I think that's normal. I mean, it comes with dating a projector. So I feel like since we're both sort of doing our roles, it really works. I think that he is very sweet and very romantic, but he's also splenic, just like me. And so I don't have to wait for him to like go through an emotional ride. We both make decisions together very quickly, and that is really awesome. But yeah, I feel like it's sort of a roles reversed situation, you know, instead of the man being super dominant. I think I am a little bit more of that there. I do think that sometimes it's hard to be in a relationship with me because it's like I said, it's my way or the highway. You know, if I'm not going to bend over backwards for someone and put my energy at risk, if it's gonna get in the way of that, then yeah, screw it. Or I set very strong boundaries, and I refuse to bow down. Obviously, relationships require some compromise, so, you know, I still try to do things his way too, but I also am pretty firm about the way I like to do things. So I think it takes someone pretty tolerant to be with me. I'm very spontaneous, and so it really keeps things fun and interesting. I'm really big on being in the moment, if that makes any sense, and just exploring and trying new things, and as long as it doesn't compromise my own thing, you know, that's how I am. One of my biggest challenges this past year in 2020 was letting go of a lot of different people in my life who were making me feel worse. I feel like there were some people that I would hang out with, and I would come back home and I would just feel so miserable, because even though they weren't being like terrible friends, they were just draining my energy, and I realized that that's not the kind of thing that I could do. That's not who I am. And so I felt like the biggest act of self-love I could do was to get these people out of my life, you know? And for me, that often means blocking them, getting them out. I had multiple people who were trying to like manipulate me, manipulate my time. I think that's what happens when I give too much of myself So I'm very careful. I protect my energy, and when it gets to be too much, I think my biggest regret is not listening to my spleen and letting it get to a point where I'm uncomfortable, because I feel like I could avoid so much hardship and so much drama if I just listened to it at the time, like, you know, because I want to give people the benefit of the doubt, but that's more my mind talking. Number 13, what is your career? I am a psychic. Like, I'll give people readings. Lately, I haven't been doing that a lot because I am really focused on creating my new projects and stuff. I think what's awesome about being a manifestor and being a psychic is that it's all about energy, and it's all about using it in the most awesome way possible. And my spleen is really about intuition, and it really allows me to capture insight and intuition in the moment. And so I find that my best readings are at times when my spleen is just functioning and I'm just gaining all these insights, and that's kind of how it is for me. It also makes it easier to manage because I'm also like not working a 9-to-5 job. I make my own schedule. Yay! Okay, thank you so much for watching this video. I love you guys so much. I will definitely post all these questions below if you want to try the human design tag. I know this was kind of long, but if you stuck through it, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to comment. Don't forget to comment. That's what I meant to say. Don't forget to comment and write what your human design type, authority, and profile is. You can get your chart for free in the like section with the writing and stuff. I will post a link. Yes. Okay, bye.